Alright everyone, I'm Afro Luigi. Welcome back to Ixion. Who is ready for me to press the Ixion, activate the Ixion engine? For those of you who aren't ready, too bad, I'm pressing it. Bam.
In accordance with Frau Stanford procedures, all ships must return to the Tiqqun before voyage initiation.
You know, I might alternate between upgrading the EVA airlock and the lab. Just because we might... I'm looking at that. We were only at +8. So we'll see what the hull repair rate's like in the next chapter while we charge up the Ixion engine. And we're ready to puncture reality and go somewhere else. And... we're ripping space. That's the only way to interpret what we're seeing here, is we're just ripping a hole in space. I keep wanting to look in the background to see if we can see other lines of something moving. Because if the multiverse series through, we should be seeing other Tiqquns moving around. And there we go.
Full jump complete. Running preliminary diagnostics. Expected irreversible damage to the Tiqqun detected. We have not reached the exoplanet Remus. Tiqqun primary sensors are picking up vast amounts of debris. Act with caution, Administrator. We must reach Remus.
There we go, the fate of the Animanki. Oh, we're still at +3. We're fine. Maxwell, go investigate the destroyed command jammer. Ah, crap, I got the phone. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. We have a new request. Sector 6. What do they want? Oh, the Administrator. Sectors converts to the Cult of the Hull. This has had a positive impact on the morale of the crew. The converts are waiting to hear your opinion on their worship. Sanctifying the Tiqqun and its facilities does not directly violate any Dolos directives. Embrace the radiance of Bargeville. The Tiqqun is a body, the hull is its skin, we are its blood. Sure, why not? Anything to keep the people happy. And what's going on over here? Oh, there it is at the Cryonic Center. Administrator of the crew are encouraged by how many survivors we have brought aboard the Tiqqun. The increased population reinforces the feeling that our goal of saving humanity is achievable. The new crew members woken from cryonic pods are now part of something bigger than themselves. Beautiful. The people are happy. I think it is time we added another science ship. Ooh, Professor Maxwell. I need to keep them in that order. And I need to keep them both alive. On the other hand, if I can find a science ship named Smart, I'm going to reorganize all those dock bays so we have Professor Maxwell Smart. I am actually a fan of the classic Get Smart, not the one with what's-his-face. The modern one, which was a movie. I actually like the old TV series, Get Smart. Okay, we know there's a planet over here. I'm not going to bother putting probes in these areas here, because I've discovered that if you just merely complete this event here, enter the command center. I should have read all that. Although the command center of the Animanki is heavily armored, the structure suffered terrible bombardment. It appears as if something sliced through the larger superstructure of the Animanki. This must have dislodged its center and separated it from the rest of the ship. Numerous pieces of debris and corpses float around the ruin. We have located a breach within the armor plating that should allow us to get inside. Okay, I think we might need to go over here. Where can I fit you?
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Let us build... Actually, we're not going to finish them. We're just going to plop them down and pause them. Because I think we're going to need more colonists. We're going to need to slide you in. And we're going to need one more. And another science ship we've found. Okay. Professor, you're not busy? Come on. Professor, Grux P-42. The frozen rooms through which Maxwell's team have had to navigate are from a nightmare. Projectile damage covers most surfaces, and there are signs of electrical fires having ravaged throughout the corridors. This is not to discount the ever-present grim sight of severed corpses. Upon entering the bridge, the team discovered the bodies of the commander-in-chief and other officers. It appears they took their own lives. We must retrieve the Remus data. The Tiqqun should be kept in close proximity to the command center. This will allow the Maxwell's team to use the station's power via the retractable telescopic pole to access the center's terminals. Recover the coordinates. Oh, you know what we never did? We need to send a probe out to get some resources. Like, yeah, sure, ice and carbon. We kept the colonist guys here, aren't they? Yep. Ooh, what's going on over here? The debris field we have entered is mostly composed of corpses. The floating bodies bumping against the hull and create sounds that reverberate throughout the Tiqqun sectors. This is not proving beneficial for crew morale. Dale's reports indicate that EVA crews are discussing their experiences working outside the Tiqqun with colleagues in mess halls, compounding the problem. Our trust is still positive, at least. Do we not have you set to gather electronics? No, we do not. That's going to make it hard to build things.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Establish advanced Neo-Conde colony infrastructure. Number 5, that's your task. Oh, my thing is not quite large enough, I think, to get all of those resource points in range.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun. A probe has completed its scan.
And we're going to need to build 2 more. Train 15.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Destroyed command center. Administrator, the Remus coordinates aren't here. As you know, Vol coordinates are incredibly complex algorithms that require advanced technology for their storage and application. we did identify a storage area within the command center where such equipment, perhaps including that stolen from the Protagoras, should have been held. It has been ripped away, shorn by cutting lasers, and taken. There is some small hope. A single damaged calculator terminal was found. Power supplied from the Tiqqun has allowed us to access it. It appears that in the Edamanki's final moments, while they attempted to address the colossal damage done to their ship, the crew were able to identify and record the self-similar signature of their attacker as it withdrew. Perhaps they hope to later mount some sort of pursuit to recover the stolen coordinates of Remus. We are now in possession of that signature. It belongs to the Piranesi, a ship of the Black Market Society. This is where our hope fades. The few officers' logs we have found that detail the attack are terrifying. It seems highly likely that the coordinates of Remus are now on board the Piranesi. Having processed the data we have found within the center, and thanks to old recordings of now inactive distress signals, we have been able to locate other parts of the Edamanki which have drifted across this sector. And research further into the Piranesi's attack.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Already here. The animosity between the former crew members of the Protagoras and the Edamanki is becoming... We haven't even unlocked many cryopods from the Edamanki yet. Accommodating survivors from both crews together in the Tiqqun threatens the stability of the station. Klein protocols recommend temporary separation until tensions ease. Initiating population transfer, individuals will be sorted automatically using DLS data. No, we do not have time for this. Like, seriously, we are the only hope. The Edamanki is in pieces, literally. Like, really, people? Get your priorities straight.
Science ship team has completed a task.
Maxwell is done that. Has the Edamanki paused in the Crook system? It was surprised and attacked by the Piranesi. Reports indicate colossal casualties. The UN crew was able to find a flaw in the Piranesi's defense systems and managed to mount a boarding assault. The Piranesi responded by firing its main weapon before fleeing the system. The last survivors of the attack, who could not enter cryonic pods, either died from the cold or slowly asphyxiated in the days that followed. And determine the Edamanki's previous mission objectives.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Come on, trains up to 15 colonists over 1. I know. I'm reading that, I'm complaining to myself that I'm rereading that. There we go. Train 15 more. And, while we're waiting, only colonists, 15 from Sector 4 to Sector 1. Not that number 5 is ready to start delivering colonists, I think. I think it's still delivering. Yeah, it's still building, so we'll be fine. After I upgrade the tech lab, I want to upgrade the mining ships, because this endoscopic railing, leech mining, and improved filters is an insanely handy tech. We're going to save all our science for, And by powering the command center, the Maxwell's team was able to extract and analyze core mission data. The Edamanki was a UN ship initially launched to find other exoplanets. Early data logs from their voyage indicates a glaring lack of preparation to accomplish such a task. In the absence of a habitable planet, they seem to have concentrated on the search for what the UN had designated as enemies of humanity, Dolos and the Ashtangites. By boarding the Protagoras, the Edamanki was able to locate Remus.
Administrator, we have found the Piranesi signature stored in the Edamanki's destroyed command center. It is a ship unlike any other in our records, a formidable opponent, now in possession of the Remus coordinates. The eventual failure of the Tiqqun's hull is inevitable. We had no other choice but to confront the Piranesi. Before we leave the system, We must find a way to develop an effective countermeasure strategy.
Alright, we got all our new primary objectives for this thing. Ooh, 10 homos. That makes sense because of the, we don't have the Sector 1 designed to accommodate the colonists. Alright, the command center's done. So, first things first. Reactor's closest. So Max will leave the command center and go there. How's Crux P49 going? It's coming. And bam. 15 colonists from Sector 4 to Sector 1.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Okay. Oh, we're not actually researching any of this science. That's a nice thing. I like how they do science in this as like an actual resource that you can generate and use up. There. And we have arrived at the site. Only 2 of the Edimaki's massive reactors remain. Initial reconnaissance reveals 3 places of interest: the thrusters, the engine room, and the engine supervision area. Let's start at the supervision area. This is 5 science, every 5 cycles. Beautiful.
Population transfer complete.
Soon it will produce 5 every 3, though. And the storm's coming.
A science ship team has completed.
The engine supervision area was mainly occupied by those of rank. Some had time to enter cryopods before the apparent depressurization of the area. Analysis of remaining computer infrastructure indicates that their directives were merciless towards the engine room workers. They treated them as expendable outcasts. There are traces throughout the entire supervisory district of hacking attempts. All ships' computers dedicated to the engines and reactors were compromised, preventing the Edamaki from maneuvering and causing power failures throughout the superstructure. The Maxwell's team has managed to extract remnants of the computer protocols that were used to do this. These fragments of code point to an author, the BMS. Relevant data has been sent to the Tiqqun's tech lab for more detailed analysis. Now investigate the engine rooms themselves. And where is that request? Oh, it's not the science lab. Administrator, we now have data to analyze the Piranesi hacking protocols. The associated research project can be launched in the tech lab. This should allow us to set up computer protection systems to reduce the impact of any digital attacks. Wonderful. You know, I think since we have a surplus, since we have a surplus of polymers, yeah, we have a surplus of polymers. Let's head out. More solar power. And now, time to research computing optimization. Now, from here on out, I'm going to avoid researching upgrades to tech because we're going to save up our science because the depressurized R&D district over here has some tech we want.
Has occurred in the Tiqqun.
So we're just going to kind of blitz our way. We're going to save up some science. Actually, what we are going to do, though, rather than researching upgrades, is we're going to start researching some of these outer techs that we need. For example, what I want to save up for is the Exo Fighting Dome and trains. So we'll queue up that next. The Edamaki's engines were not supported by a PA or even basic AI. Instead, crew members were constantly monitoring, adjusting, and repairing the engines and thrusters. Their living conditions were extremely precarious, and it would seem many of them were either prisoners or rejects from the population on board the Edamanki. Traces of writings were found within some dormitory cells referring to genetic conatus and the Ashtangas. There are records of several serious breakdowns before the final explosion. Crew members would work waist deep in coolant, some dying while performing their tasks within the toxic substance. Those who refused were executed by the supervisors. And investigate the thrusters now. How is that going? We still need a bunch of stuff. I gotta be careful not to progress too far through here, because I want that colony established before the storm progresses too far.
No more resources available to mine.
Oh, so close. Just one couple more points of science.
A probe has completed its scan.
Let's let that. There we go.
Science ship team has
The
completed task.
Edamanki seems capable of achieving two different types of propulsion. The intra-sister mode of propulsion has many similarities to Dullar's EKP system. Cross-referencing mission data reveals a number of matches to the encounter near Saturn during the Tiqqun's initial test phase. Their inter-system propulsion covers many of the basic operations of the Vol engine. Our team has noted the remains of a huge accreditation areas. Access to and knowledge of the propulsion modes seem to have been strictly regulated. The two reactors were damaged at the same time as the larger ship structure, and analysis has revealed traces of gluon particles. And time to gather up the science. Oh, I better make sure that we don't have any... Okay, these guys are good for now. So Exo Fighting Dome, followed by the train station is next. Now, let's pause you so we can get another probe built. How are you doing? Still a few more trips. Especially since you're only carrying 33 per trip. Well, the Exo Fighting Dome will be done fairly soon. There. Now, who is here? Maxwell's here. Maxwell, head over to the industrial zone. Crux P42 is next.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Train station's going up. Let's upgrade. Oh, I don't want to upgrade. I want to save all the upgrades till we have the tech to create a tech discount. So, what techs am I going to need soon? Algae farm. That could be handy. So we'll queue up that research. Or are we already gathering up colonists? Nice. Food and colonists is getting queued up. Just one more hunk of food. Where's the food? And there we go. Oh, homelessness is almost taken care of in Sector 1. How's Sector 4's population coming along? Okay, we're going to need a new house soon.
Accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
First thing we're going to upgrade, though, is housing, I think, because that's going to be an issue. Industrial zone wreckage. We have arrived at the ruined industrial zone. The view is intriguing. In addition to the general debris and bodies that float everywhere, there are large piles of previously molten metals that have solidified when the area was exposed to the vacuum of space. The zone has been ripped open, and much of the interior appears to have been blown away. The structural tears extend into a storage area full of suspended yellow particles. Figure out what those yellow particles are. So 18, so that's 80, 72 more people? So 3 more trips of colonists. Oh, we can build the exo-fighting dome, I think. That requires 40 power. We don't quite have the energy output for that yet. But once our solar panels are done, we will. Which is still a ways off, to be honest. That would put us at, like I said, a few more trips. Oh, I forgot. I went to see what cycle was, and I had totally forgotten. I spent a ridiculous amount of cycles in the prologue just gathering up points of science. The team followed the trail of yellow particles through the vacuum to another section of the Edamanki's wreckage. It appears to have been at least partially spared from the destruction we have seen elsewhere. The particles come from the crushed and damaged flowers of yellow squash. A bed of these frozen plants surrounds a large bronze sculpture, a depiction of Earth crowned with laurels. Many messages have been left near the sculpture, railing against the perceived enemies of humanity, Dolos and the Ashtangites. A plaque at its base reads, "Against the cynicism that kills hope, against the madness which precipitates hell, to perpetuate the genius of humanity and the memory of our life on Earth." There is a compartment beneath the plaque in which a sealed time capsule was found. It seems possible it could be opened. Sure, open the time capsule. Now, yeah. I haven't actually done, like I said, I haven't done the ending yet where we actually side with the Remus guys, where we don't disconnect Eden. So I don't actually know what that ending's like, but I have a bad feeling about it. Like a legitimate bad feeling. You know what? I don't actually want that.
Has occurred in the Tiqqun. A science ship team has completed a task.
Alright, inside the capsule were toys and other everyday items. Several objects were of unknown purpose. There was a packet of newspaper clippings that revealed some of what happened after the Tiqqun first entered self-similar space. There was a total collapse of Earth ecosystems, accelerated by the moon's destruction. In response, the United Nations installed a totalitarian government of planetary surveillance to protect the populace from eco-terrorists and the continuous wave of pandemics. They prioritized corporate practices that supported the environment and its preservation. Individual responsibility seems to have become empowerment. Numerous legal ramifications were implemented to counter any further acceleration of the ecosystem destruction. In this time of crisis, and guided by the government, society seems to have turned on politicians, extremists, immigrants, and conspiracy theorists. I like the first, second, and third one. Not the first, second, and fourth one of those. One after the other, they portrayed them as possible scapegoats, holding them responsible for 250 years of industrialization, market disruption, superficial societal practices, moral decay, and hyper-consumerism. The Edamanki was to be the Great Ark, the global project that would save humanity. Only those deemed well-behaved in the eyes of the government would be allowed on board. The Ashtangites, fanatics of mysticism, and proponents of genetic manipulation were left behind on Earth with the deviants and dissidents. And there we go, we've upgraded Tech Lab upgrade. Investigate the storage area. Oh, we have a ship coming into dock to get some more colonists. 33 more. I think one more after that. Yep. Beautiful. For some reason. While we're over here, actually, let's launch one more probe to find the planet that's over there. So that's actually a huge storm. I like how they made it go all the way up there, just to guarantee there'd be no way for us to game our way around it.
A science ship team has
The storage
completed
area
the
seems to have been
task.
battleground for a large, violent clash. Workers attempted to repel an invader using small firearms and improvised weaponry. Apart from the cutting laser marks across bodies and containers, there is no evidence that identifies the invader. The large majority of the storage area seems to have been emptied, but after some searching, the Macwells team located a number of intact cryopods and resource containers. Everything has been prepared for extraction. And explore the industrial zone. We might not actually have time to gather any of these materials. Well, we'll have time if I take it really slow, but I want to get over to the depressurized R&D district to get that upgrade. I also want to see if the Piranesi the upgrades to the Piranesi technology stuff are impacted by the upgrade discount tech.
A science ship team has completed a task.
The industrial zone itself is devastated. Both factory machinery and crew were covered by flying molten metal as depressurization occurred. As the metal solidified, grisly monuments were created. Sometimes all that remains of a body is a cracked metal shell. Cryopods found in this area have either been covered by steel or compromised. Our team was able to gather some information about the Edamanki's production methods. Leave wreckage. And yeah, those now are in the danger zone. So let's go slow so we can see exactly which ones. That one is as well. And that one. We might be losing the professor. So we're not going to start the collapsed food district until we know what the consequences of completing Kruk P42 is. Actually, in that case, we're going to do it like that. Back to the Tiqqun. Oh, I didn't actually gather up all the signs from that. .6. Well, 2.2 cycles. A moment of truth approaches where we know how much spare space we have. Yeah, I think we have enough ice so we can afford to just stop collecting these things.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
2, 1,
A
0.
science ship team has completed
Alright,
a
deep
task.
breath. Crack P42. Temporary test colony has now been established. The colonists will periodically transmit reports on their progress. These will provide us with valuable field data. Leave the planet? Can you leave the planet, though? Ooh. Just barely you can. Alright, Professor. Back to the Tiqqun. Reactor wreckage, we're going to start avoiding that. We're going to try to gather as much of those materials up there as we can. Crux P42 is already generating science. You know what? We got all those materials. We won't bother with the cryopods. Ships are returning. Location of the Tiqqun. Everyone's in place. We have enough energy. Tiqqun to the pressurized R&D district. And away we go. Leaving the command district behind, we're going to dive through the storm. And then we'll end the episode when we get to the other side. It's nice that we have batteries.
Caution.
Actually, if we go in here, let's turn off the probe bay. Let's turn off the docking bays because we're not using them. If we turn you on, ooh, our positive hull. Nice. Beautiful. And fast forward. Poor Crux P42, we're leaving you behind. DLS injury, no damage so far. It's nice, we have enough EVA airlocks.
Caution. Entering debris field.
Perfect. We made it. Let's build another. We can start actually. We're going to want to redesign Sector 2. We're going to start redesigning Sector 6, our industry sector. We're going to start going full head first into waste production. We want this to be like a recycling sector. And we're also going to want to get a storage sector up and running. Okay, we're no longer moving. Let's turn you off. We'll turn you guys back on because you guys actually have valuable material. Those things you're doing. You can come back on as well. And that'll be it for this episode. Next episode, we will begin start gathering materials on this side of the storm, and eventually bring Crux 42 back. We'll also start redesigning some of our districts. But I'll see you guys then. Bye.